Hi, and welcome to Table Talk Sessions. Tonight we are doing our virtual book club, and we will be focusing on chapter 5 of our reading. So I have a couple of question stems, and in previous weeks, all I've done is to post those question stems, and then anyone that would like to answer or to share, they do so by just unmuting and joining in on the conversation. A part of table talk sessions are when we come together to have real conversations and dialogues to help each other to become better. The book that this is stemmed from is called Table Talk Sessions, Family Finances, and Finesse. We are in the family section of the book. It's actually the last chapter before we head to the finances section. So I'm excited as this is the culmination of family. Tonight, we're going to be starting off with chapter 5. With chapter 5, I'm going to share screen just so you all can see the first question stem. And the first question stem, let me let this person in. I'm sorry. As you can see, the first question stem is asking, who are the prongs in your family? A person who helps hold the family together. In chapter 5, I explained that we have forks, we have knives and plates. The forks are the prongs, the utensil that we use to hold ourselves up, or it holds us up. I use my grandmother, the matriarch. In your family, it might have been a patriarch in your family. So who is that person that, I don't want to say you idolize, but is the person that definitely was the person that lifted the family or lifts the family or you up? Ready? And go. Not all at once. Anybody who is
I'll start. I'll say something, and my mom probably can account to this too. But I think for me, growing up as a child, I saw that my grandmother was that person. And it could have been before, it could have been my grandfather, but when he wasn't alive when I was coming up. But my grandmother was the person for our family that, did that. But when she went on, I could say now, I guess, I don't know, I guess like my mom, they all kind of, my aunts and uncles kind of are the one, I guess my aunts and uncles are the one that kind of make sure that everybody's good, holding us together.
Okay, now you said your grandmother, but what exactly about your grandmother made her be the prong? What about her makes her stand out in your mind?
Well, I guess her spirit, her personality, just who she was and how she was giving, that love and spirit, and encouraging. Even though she didn't say many words, but encouraging, things like that. I guess her spirit, her personality was the thing.
Okay.
And just to add on to what Ashley was saying about my mom, she was one that even the community, people would just call her if they were going through anything or needed advice, and she would just be there for them to encourage them, or just to be there, just that sounding board, just someone that they could talk to. And she just helped out. I mean, she was like a community, just not only just for the family, but anyone in the community, people in the community would just call. And church, well respected.
That's a key word. So that's something I was looking for, the community and being a person that other people would come to. So that's great to hear. Anybody else want to share who was a prong, someone that helped to lift the family up, somebody that you counted on and probably to their demise, you felt their presence lacking? Anybody that you can think of?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
So it was my grandmother, and she lived to be 96, and then my mom took it on after my grandmother. But it's ironic that it's always, I'm not gonna say always the women, but it's the women who takes that strong hold in the community or in the family, and they're ones that you can lean on or depend on, or don't mind giving advice, or don't mind sharing, or trying to lead you into the correct path, as we want to say. So, the fathers, I guess, and the men were working or, doing what they did, but it was always like the mother or that female feet that kept the family together. and I'll say this, even after my mom now, it's like my sisters, I mean, the females are still trying to, carry it on. The men, they come and they participate, but it's still that female touch that holds everything together.
Would you say the same thing, Ashley and Miss Vic?
I would say it's the same as she was saying. Even though our mom has gone on, the sisters are the ones my brother's children may come and talk to me about things, or my children may go and talk to my sisters about things. So it's still really a cohesive family and tradition. And I was going to say, and I know the grandmother and mom were the type that when people came to talk to you, whether family or community, in the community, they didn't tell it. They kept it to themselves.
So that's good. That's good to know. So they were trustworthy too.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for giving input on that. I'm going to segue into the second part of it, the second question. That question is, what circumstance, or it could be plural, what circumstances have you overcome due to your village? So if there's any situation that you found yourself in and you were able to overcome it because of your village, they were able to step in to help you, give guidance, whatever the case may be, what circumstance have you been in and you know that your village helped you to overcome it?
Okay, I'm a talk. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to be quiet tonight.
That was just good.
But for me, my circumstances and where the village came and stepped in, I'm a single parent. And we're having two children, especially the girls, my brothers, oh wow, they stepped in and they were like fathers, would tell them, when it came to how men think and stuff, they would talk to the girls. They were like that father figure for them. And then even for my sisters, they would come in and, they would help out a lot. I mean, it was just like they were so supportive. And it wasn't like, well, you shouldn't have done that. And, it wasn't any of that stigma stuff. They just, I believe I know they went by that in Genesis where it says, well, God told Adam and Eve to multiply. And but to them is I was just saying, even though I was thinking, no, I wasn't gonna go out there and keep multiplying, but I think as a single parent, I know, Ashley, I said I wasn't gonna say anything because that can be embarrassing.
No,
but as a single parent too, for me, I know other women felt like they needed a man in their life, but for me, my thing was, my brothers and sisters and everybody helping out. I did not want to bring a man into my life because their focus needed to be on me and not my children. Because, you hear so much stuff, just wanted to make sure that my girls, wasn't harmed in any way, but that's all. Ashley was like, that's enough, Mom.
But that's a good point, though, because my father's mom, well, my dad has shared that my grandmother had the same sentiments, that she didn't focus on getting involved in a relationship because she had daughters and didn't want any harm to be brought to them. So I do think to some extent that was a sacrifice on your part to ensure that your daughters were okay. And that's okay. That's awesome that you were. Some mothers would not consider their children and have them in harm's way. So Ashley, I'm sure appreciates, the fact that you considered her. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love it. So hers was a single parent perspective, and that she was sharing that her village helped to support her with her children. And I think the crazy part is that although I came from a 2-parent household, something that my parents and I talked about last weekend was that my uncles were father figures to me. To this day, right now, I could go to any of my uncles and get counsel. I can go to any of my uncles. My husband will tell you that they will threaten him and say, you better make sure you treat her right. So I think definitely uncles can definitely play a big part or role for that single parent household. And I'm glad that your brother stepped in. Anybody else want to share to that effect of overcoming a circumstance and having your village to support? Come on, don't let Miss Vicky.
I'll just add in there, just overcome. I can't think of like a particular circumstance, but just saying as a whole, just being able to have your family. One thing is for like prayer, just if you need prayer on a situation or something, being able to text your family text group or whatever, saying, hey guys, I mean, not even having to give details, just, hey, can you pray for me for this situation? So just through prayer, and then me personally, just going through college, I was able, going through college, if I needed something, I was able to call, of course, my uncles and stuff like that. It was helping me with different things like books and stuff I had to, pay for throughout college time. So just, that was like my personal circumstance, but just also just prayer, being able to have that village, be able to call on for just that prayer, that religious support.
That is something that I was gonna share too, is that the dynamics of family or the village doesn't always, I think it comes with your upbringing to an extent. Because I remember when we were in school, I think my aunts realized that they had 2 kids, for example, in college. And so it was nothing for me to come home and have aunts that had said, okay, let's go to the store and get groceries, or what do you need to go back to school with? So I think sometimes too, I don't know if it doesn't register with some people or if it's just more people are more giving. How does that happen?
I guess it just, like you said, it depends on the family dynamic, and sound like both of our families were very close knit and supportive of each other. Everybody, you could go talk to your aunts, uncles, like you said earlier, like your mom and dad. So I think it just with the family dynamic, that kind of makes a difference.
Cool. The prompt to anybody that just joined in, the prompt that we shared was, if you have a circumstance that you've been able to overcome due to your village. So it could have been anything that you've dealt with and you were able to overcome it because you had the support of your family or somebody that you looked up to. They were able to help you to overcome it. Anybody else have a scenario, circumstance they can share?
Well, I can't really say that it's an overcome because we still all have our family. Because if I fall right now, I know that my family will pick me up. Even family almost did that, but I don't even think it's overcoming because we're all still here to pick each other up when we do fall.
That's a good point. Good point, Rico. But share with that you said if something were to happen right now. So how has your village helped to lift you up? How do they help lift up?
I know they're there when I need some greens. If I need anything, motivation, I know there's somebody there because there's a part of, everybody has a part to play. And we all have somebody in our family, in our village that has a part to play. They might not have money, but they might have advice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to add in also about how we talked about a lot about how our family was my village or whatever, but also I want to say just in college I had my friend support. That was like a little village just to help support me through college, and mostly with that was just encouraging words or saying, oh, Ashley, you need to go study or something like that. Just making sure that we each supported each other through that, so we each had our little village there.
Correct. And to that, you would say that people who can go from being friends to becoming family long term, they become more like family. I've heard, the situation too where family that was toxic and their friends, are more family than their actual family. So I guess it just depends on whoever it is that are helpful in that way. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. Here is the next question for tonight.
Go ahead. May I say something before you continue?
Sure.
I'd just like to add that I think this is a good thing that we're talking about. And I also like to add the importance of family. And as a male figure, as an adult, I think that it's important that we orientate our kids in which Annette and I tried to do. Turn yours down there. Which Annette and I tried to do. If family is going to be important, in which it is, we have to nurture our kids, bring them up, teach them, and show them family as we interact with family. And I'll say, I think my family, my immediate family, and my kids are a little closer to and that side of the family than they are mine, but that's because of the interaction. As you bring kids up, if you don't take them to family reunions, if you don't go visit, and if you don't share and talk with each other, distance can creep in. So to keep a family close, you have to engage your kids and engage with family. And that's how they really get to know each other. So when I hear Siobhan say she can really talk to her uncles, or they can give her advice, or they look out for her, that's really good, because when you spend time with your family, your friends, your relatives, you build a bond, you build a relationship. So that's how this all come about. Okay, that's my take on that.
Have y'all noticed, and it may be biased when I say this, do y'all think that children are typically more attached to the mother than the father? I don't know why this happens, but I need somebody to explain it. Why are the children gravitate more to the mother side than the father side? Anybody? Why is that?
I think it's because when your kids are growing up, they're with the mother more than they with the father. So the mother is more going to her mother's house versus taking you to your grandmother's house. I think that's the only reason why it is.
And I'll say that I think kids gravitate to the mothers more. That's just a natural thing to do. If you look at the animal instinct, the male figure go off and hunt or whatever, and the female is always there nursing and taking care of the kids. And I think kids develop a special bond with the mother like none other. You can be the best dad in the world, and kids gonna gravitate to the mom. As a dad myself, I tried to do the best I could, but that bond between a mother and a child is unspeakable, unbreakable. So that's my point on that. I don't feel no shade when the kids run to mom and, hey, dad, and they run over there and sit and talk to mom. Hey, that's a beautiful thing, because mom's going to always be there. And dad's going to be there some of the time, most of the time, and in some instances, all the time. But that still don't outshine mom or outweigh mom, with no respect to the male figure, to the dads involved. No disrespect, yeah.
Rico, I think you're on it. I think the children are often with the mom, so I guess that's what happens. I think the sad part is, when you compare it, I wish that the same kind of closeness that I had with my mom's side, with my cousins and such, it carried over to my father's side, And to that regard, I don't know how you fix that. Even when you see them at a family function or reunion, it's really good to see them. But it's that disconnect, as my dad shared earlier, and I think he's right. You have to come around, or even the cousins that stay away from the family, don't come to family functions, and it's like there's a distance there. But I think it does take you having to come around to get that closeness there. Anybody else want to share to that? Or do you notice that in your family as well? Or is it just me? I don't know. Anybody else?
The same. I think the same too. We just maybe like Sharika, I think, was saying that you're just always, most of the time, always with your mom when you're younger. So you always kind of went to your mom's side of the family things too. But that's the only thing I agree though. As far as most people that I know, I'm just thinking of people that I know, they're mostly closer to that mom's side of the family.
Well, I'm gonna say that that didn't happen in my point. We were more on my dad's side. more than my mom's. And that was probably because my mom's side of the family were older, and they were spread out more. My dad's side, we was thick as thieves, but mom's side, they didn't have a lot. My mother's side of the family, all of her sisters and cousins had died because of cancer on their side of the family. So there were the kids had moved on, had moved out way across the world. But for me, my side of the family that was closer was my dad's side. Then again, I was a daddy's girl. My mom was the disciplinary in my house, and my dad was the protector, unless for that one time I got in trouble with him. But hey, that's neither here or there. But yeah, I was opposite. My dad's side of the family was closer than my mom's side.
Chris, you might be a rare find, but I am glad that you had that from with the male perspective, though.
Well, that was because they lived near us. His family was from Wilson. That's where we went to visit. When we went to visit, all the cousins was over at my grandmother's house. So we were all close because we were right there. My mom's side of the family was from Lauenburg, from Lumberton, down the South Carolina way. And they, like I said, they were older. So, we as kids, we didn't hang out with the older crowd because, we were little. So, but that's a different perspective, being a daddy's girl, just closer because the family was right here.
Okay. Now the next one is going to be sensitive. So here is the next one for tonight. This one says, what generational stigmas or disparities do you connect with? What have you done to disconnect? Now, I'm going to share one for myself. I have been thick my whole life. My whole life. I have struggled with my weight. And so a stigma with that is that, just being around and being a Black woman, and a part of me trying to disconnect with that has been to be more healthy. So trying to break through that stigma as far as in the Black person having being big boned, and, I want to be healthy, and not, continue with that particular stigma. So what is something that you connect with or are trying to disconnect with as a stigma for the culture?
Ask that question again, Siobhan.
I'm gonna share the screen again. Okay, the question is, what generational stigma? So my mama was big bone, my grandma was big boned, and they struggle with weight. They had diabetes, so I'm gonna be a diabetic. I'm talking about generational stigmas that have been on the family. Or my daddy was an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. Just whatever. What do you connect with, and then what have you done to disconnect? So, what is something that you can connect with, and what have you done or think you should do to help disconnect?
Did you say I was big bone?
No, that was an example, Mama. It might have. Hey, listen, mine might have been on finances. It may be my mama was in debt, my great grandma was in debt, and I don't want to. I don't know. Whatever. What's your generational stigma? Nobody. Boy, I need to come around all y'all. Y'all
That's
need to help me.
That's a tough question. Mama, hang up. I'm just playing. I'm joking. No, I don't. I'm thinking. I can't think of anything, but I think just only when you said something about weight and health and stuff, the only thing I think about is cooking. Then there was a lot of cooking and fried foods and all that stuff. So now I'm just trying to do healthier at times. I do healthier foods, but I'm gonna keep thinking about something a little deeper.
little deeper. It's a real thing though. Just like last week we were talking about trauma and
Yeah,
things that have
cooking and
happened.
just the food part, just as far as health stuff, healthy eating or exercising and stuff like that.
My thing is education. I think my family in general was not very educated, so I try to daily strive to broaden my horizon. So education is a big thing, and then it's being a black male. I want to be informed, and I want to do better than what I've seen in the past.
So your disconnect with that was to acquire more of an education. That's a good one.
Right.
That's very good. Anybody else?
One other thing you can do, can you hear me, Siobhan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One other thing you can do is preparation. Used to when we was at work, we're coming home. You said, what we're going to have for dinner? You couldn't think about what you're going to have, so you stopped in at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Either coming from church, you said, what are we going to have for dinner? So you go down to Host Lake, more or less to have something for dinner right away. But now we can prepare more. You can say, okay, what am I have for Monday? What am I have for Tuesday? What am I have for Wednesday? So my word takeaway is do more, prepping and preparing for the week. I think that will help out.
Didn't see him. She said, told you.
So, Joanne, are you saying that your way of disconnecting with your previous behavior has been to do more or wanted to do more prepping? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Knowing that I'm going to have, maybe Monday I'm going to have a salad. Maybe Tuesday, we're going to have this. Or maybe Wednesday we're going to have that. Right. Let's get in your mind what you're going to have for the rest of the week. Then just get up Tuesday morning. Oh, what we're going to have today? Let me go in here and fry some chicken right quick. Something that's unhealthy. But if you prepare, I think that will help you out a lot.
100%, Joe, what you just said is legit. And I actually, when I don't prepare or when we don't meal prep, when we don't plan out groceries, that is when the failing happens, because then you are stuck with, all right, I don't feel like cooking. We're going to go get something to eat right now. So that's a good one, Granny Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have anything that they've tried to disconnect from?
I think another thing is having insurance for us and being able to leave some for our children.
I was getting ready to say the same exact thing, Aunt Ned. The very same, and having a will. My mother really didn't have a will when she died, even though she prepped for everything else. But in this day and time, you need to at least set out how you want things done and who's going to be in charge of this and that. And also, as far as what you're saying, as far as the insurance, making sure that you're not a financial burden on your family after the fact. I got stuck with a lot of stuff after my dad died. So yes, what I tried to do was when I got in that situation, I said, I hope don't nobody else get in the same situation I was in. So I have prepared. I have a will, I have insurance. I know how much each child is going to get if my husband is gone on with me or before me or after me or what have you, so that everybody will know what needs to be done. Trying to make sure bills is taken care of, putting insurance on each of your credit cards, putting insurance on your house, whatever. So I was thinking the very same thing.
That is very smart. And I think that message needs to be shared more frequent, actually. Thank you for sharing that.
But even, and I've seen cases where my cousin passed young and she left her children with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when they got of age 18 to get the money, they blew the money. So, she prepared for them, but then they didn't have anybody in their lives to help them. And they went through that money so quick. And that was, now they're struggling or in and out of jail. And so she prepared for them, but there was no support for them once they got that money. So not only leaving them the money, but just leaving some rules and some guidelines so that these kids won't run through the money. I know all of mine are of sound mind and can think, but you know, sometimes when they see money, you know, cars,
Ching,
and, you know, they. Did you respond? Did she say something?
Ching, ching.
Yeah, but I told them now if they put me in a corner somewhere, nobody gets any money.
Ashley, you laughing, but she's dead serious.
I know she is. It's funny.
And like she said, when you put stipulations on it, like when in the will, if Sean, Dee Dee, and Nikita were not 24, 25 years old, they couldn't get their money. It had to be in a trust for them until they became of age. So I think that's a great idea for others to do if the kids are younger. And then that way, and somebody you always got to make sure you have somebody who's going to be over the estate. You know what I'm saying? If they're young kids, so they won't lose their right mind at that time and can wait till later. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
We are not in the finance section, but that is something that I was going to bring a point of, and this is just some things that I've read and learned, but even just talking about, if you're talking about investments or you have an investment account, so you have children and you don't necessarily want to think about their college tuition, and some children may not decide to go to college, but at least, you know, if you have a 529 account, or either like Priscilla was saying, a different account for the child. State employees would say it's a fat cat account or whatever you would have in place for your child. But, you know, putting that in place so that they have somewhere to start and are not, you know, walking into debt, you know, with the college. When I talk about the college scheme, that's like a part of that. And with that generational, if we talk about the generational stigma, a part of that, when we talk about our culture, is just different because we are trying to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Generationally, we are trying to catch up, whereas other families have had it with land being passed down or estates being passed down, trust being passed down. So it's us right now that are trying to catch up and are catching up to know how to do better by the next generation. Blessed, but that's a whole nother conversation, but we'll get into that definitely when we get into the finance section. But Pris, I hope you join in for that, and my mom and dad too, and Aunt Thelma and Miss Vic, so y'all can share some of that good wisdom with how families can go about with preparing for their children. That'd be great. All right, I'm going to move to the last one. We're almost out of here, friends. The last question that I'm going to share for tonight is, do you feel like you're living your best life? Now, if you emphatically say, yes, I'm living my best life, you have to be able to tell me how you know. And if you say, no, I don't think I'm living my best life quite yet, why not? What's holding us up?
Retirement is holding us up. That's what's retirement.
I love it, Pris. Pris said retirement, and then you'll be living your best life. Work is holding you back.
16 more months. Hallelujah.
Come on now. Start a countdown calendar. Pris, I keep speaking it till it happened. I plan to retire early as possible. Lord's willing. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but Lord make a way. Anybody else? What they say? Are they living their best? Aunt Thelma, are you living your best life?
I'm living my best life. I'm healthy. I'm pretty much able to do what I want to do. I have most of the things I want to have. So I'm like Priscilla, 18 months and retirement will be here.
Yes.
So I'm living, you know. But, you know, day to day, I'm living my best life because, I mean, as long as you have health and strength, you're able to do the things you want to do. You're in your right mind most of the days. You're living your best life.
I love it. That's a great response, indeed. Anybody else living their best life? Daddy's raising the roof. He's living a retired life. Yes, you're living your best life.
Well, I think since I'm younger, I feel like it's still so much I can do. I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm like, dang, am I living my best life? I'm living each day, yes, lovely. However, I feel like it's more travel and more things that I could do in my life.
So not quite yet, partially living your best
I'm
life.
not at my full potential, I don't think yet.
Me either, Ash. I can't wait till I can say retirement. Yes, yes.
Exactly, right.
Well, I'm
Sharika.
nowhere near retirement, but I feel like I'm living my best life. I feel good. I mean, the same thing. I do what I want, when I want, how you want. And with all this pandemic and everybody, dying and stuff, you got to live your best life day to day because, tomorrow's not a promise to anyone.
That's
So
true.
every day I'm going to live my day the best.
That's right. And look,
That
what
is
she's
right.
doing is walking and getting that exercise in, and I'm going to join her after this call. That's why we're going to keep it short. I'm going to go get my best life in and walk, try to get healthy, stay healthy. That's right. I love it.
Can I say one more thing? Just based on what Sharika just said, that is so important. We all need to understand that tomorrow is not promised. So you need to live every day to the fullest. I mean, I know, Ashley, you're young, you're a lot younger than we are, but there's nothing to say that you're going to get to the retirement age. So enjoy your life as you go day by day. You haven't traveled everywhere, you may not have done everything, but every day could be there's a saying, live today like today is your last day. So, live it to the fullest and enjoy it.
Awesome.
And I put an amen on that.
Amen.
I completely agree.
I ditto that. Live your best life every day. Live today, but plan for tomorrow. So many times we put off things and we procrastinate, but you got to live your best life every day, and with your family in mind, with God in mind, with focus. Just keep doing it, and you will be living your best life. I too am retired and living my best life. I try to show love and expression every day, and I enjoy the way things are going right now. You have to be happy and content where you are. Yes, we can all do better, but work hard to do your best every day.
I'm not going to work any harder, but I'm going to continue to work. I'm just playing. You guys are nice for retirement, but I live each day like it's my last. I'm happy with everything, but my only thing was just saying as far as the travel places I would like to go, but that was it.
That was good encouragement. Thank y'all so much. And I love that it's a diverse age group because the older ones will definitely help people like me. Even the mid-age range, like my cousin Sharika, help coming through, bring about some good balance. I'm telling you, she's out there walking it out, and I'm going to go join. Okay? That is all for tonight. Does anybody have any more input before we close it out? Tony, thank you so much for joining in. Tonight we were discussing Chapter 5. We will get back together on next week. Please know that Tuesdays seem to work a little better. So I will try to move it to a Tuesday for next week, as a couple people were not able to join in on tonight. So I want to try and let everybody get in on the conversation. Next week, we'll be starting with Chapter 6, and we'll be segueing into finances. Now, finances is a very delicate topic, and the purpose of us going through the finance section is to really learn from each other. Even today, after hearing insurance, for example, from my mom and Priscilla, those who have already, are about to transition into retirement, those are great golden nuggets that we can gain from them. Or like my father, who's already in retirement, things that he put in place. People who've already traveled, the road a bit. Aunt Thelma, likewise, be great to get some wisdom from them as we are trying to segue Ashley to retirement. Y'all missed that. Okay, here we go. Y'all missed it, but it's okay. I'm living my best life. I'm just gonna tell you, it's a plan. What Daddy say, you gotta prepare to plan. I'm planning and preparing. Okay, trying it. Rico, I know. Thank y'all so much for joining tonight's Table Talk session. I'll see you all next week. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.